You know, I've had a lot of wake-up calls in my life, and instead of letting those wake-up calls bring me down, make me depressed, and make me see my value as being less, I actually turn those wake-up calls into lessons to be learned and an excuse to be more intentional in my life and where I was going. But most people don't do that. Most people float around in life unintentionally and just kind of doing what they think they have to do in order to survive. But today I'm going to tell you that if you do that, you will end up unhappy. You're going to wake up one day a little bit older, maybe middle age, anywhere between 35 and 40, and you're going to be like, what the fuck happened? And if you are already that age, you can still relate to this video, I swear. So if you are in that age range and you're thinking that, then this video is also for you as well. Welcome to Treu Sovereignty, where we are mastering our minds so we can reclaim our peace. On this channel, we talk about how to cultivate sovereignty, independence, inner peace, self-control, maturity, anything like philosophy, political opinions, hard truths. And this video is no different. This video is going to be a lot of hard truths, a lot of tough love. So be prepared. I'm about to be the parent that you never had. So, like a lot of people, I wasted my 20s partying, running around unintentionally, wasting my time with drugs, sex, women, alcohol. Do I regret it? Of course, you know. I think I have a great work ethic. I think I'm passionate, and I think if I had spent less time being drunk and high, I actually maybe could have been a millionaire right now, or a lot more better off, you know? But it's too late to feel regret about that now. I'm 32 years old. The thing is, I did kind of have a side plan. It was half-baked and half-assed, I believe. I just did what I essentially thought I had to do, which was going to school, going to college, get a degree, and I thankfully got a degree in something that is pretty okay, graphic design. I've always been into art and design and stuff like that, so that kind of worked out for me. It's not the best paying type of endeavor, but it's up there for people who are artistic, that's for sure. And I get to work from home, so I made some right decisions, but the problem was I was really immature and distracted by wanting to find the love of my life, wanting to get drunk and high, wanting to make friends. And I still had that, of course, understandably, kind of like childlike mindset when I was in my 20s, just wanting instant gratification with everything. I didn't want to work for anything. I just wanted life to be simple, and I just wanted to relax and enjoy my life. But that is an immature way of viewing life, because nothing great, nothing worth having comes easy. I was always the more ambition friend of my friend group. I hung out with a bunch of partiers and stoners when I was growing up. And what I noticed was that they didn't even have that little side plan like I did. I feel like that's where a lot of people are at right now. And why do people do this? Because long-term ideas and plans, working hard, doing the grunt work first, putting your head down when you're young, and putting drugs to the side and putting sex to the side and is very difficult to do, especially when we're not raised and brought up to be productive members of society in our 20s. Long-term plans, long-term investments, long-term goals, grunt work is boring, it's flat, it's waiting, it's patience, it's working even when you're feeling doubt, self-doubt. It's trying to convince yourself that you are worth it and that your life is worth it and your future is worth it, even when you don't value yourself. Like, you were never brought up to value yourself. That's why a lot of people struggle today. So here's the good news, Every single person on this planet has the ability to change their life. Are some more privileged than others? Sure. But it's been seen that people have come out of poverty and become very wealthy. Anybody can change their life. Some people are starting from a lower point, unfortunately. And today I'm going to tell you how to get started. It's just a baseline blueprint for how you can at the very least, get started. And a lot of it is your responsibility. But I'm going to give you at least the template. The thing is, in general, it's easier to change your life when you're young. So if you're in your early to mid 20s, this is going to be a lot easier to do. When you are older, it's going to be a lot more difficult. And why is that? Because when you're older, you might already have a family and kids who rely on you to make money. You might have a house. When you're older, you have less energy, you have less hope, you have less of a positive outlook because you've kind of been beaten up by life. You might already be stuck at a job and working, 60 plus hours a week at that job. You never know. Other reasons, your brain is less malleable. A lot of this is mindset switching, and when you're older, it's harder to switch your mindset because your brain becomes less stretchy, and that's just the truth of biology and aging, unfortunately. So it gets harder the older that you get to do these things and to change your life. So I'm just warning you now, if you're young and you don't have a path, the older you get, the harder it gets, whether you have kids or not. So, and that's also a warning to anybody who's older watching this. It's gonna be difficult. But if you start now, it'll be easier than if you start in a year. So like I said, there is still hope for you no matter what age you are. And I'm going to give you the template, and it's going to be a lot of tough love. It's not going to be easy stuff to hear. Your brain might even try to reject it. But that's the brain's trickery, trying to protect you. So you just have to remember that when you doubt things, when you doubt that you can do something, that's your brain just trying to protect you. You are not your thoughts. You can actually replace the natural thoughts that come up into your mind and tell the protective thoughts from your brain to shut the fuck up. So just try to roll with it. It's not going to be easy stuff to hear, but just give me some time. And, I'm out in the cold over here for you guys, so at least give me that time to give you some simple steps to follow. So the first step, and this is especially if you're older, grieve the life that you wish that you could have had. Grieve it. Radically accept how your life is now. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the choices you made and realize you're only human. And the only way is forward. You can't go back and change anything. You have to move forward. So just do me a favor and radically accept that and grieve the life that you wish you could have right now. Use your past as an example of what not to do moving forward. Whatever that means. If it's still occurring in your current day, continue to use your past and your current moments, even yesterday, as an example as to what not to do moving forward. Because if you're not where you want to be in life right now, what you're doing is not working. So you're going to need to implement an entire life reset, essentially. So you're going to need to know what not to do in order to do that. And I'm telling you right now, whatever you did in your past and whatever you're doing now, isn't an example of what not to continue doing. So number 2, this is kind of good news for you. Just move. Momentum. Do something. Change something. It doesn't need to be big. It can be small. You need to change your habits to change yourself. And that is something that people don't want to hear. Whether that's eating differently, choosing a different routine, waking up earlier, waking up at 5 a.m., going to the gym, quitting all substances, alcohol, marijuana, whatever else you're addicted to, quit. You need to radically change your habits so you can radically change your life. You need to wake the fuck up and change almost every single thing. Like I said, your routine. I can't tell you what to do, and moving forward in this video, none of this will be me telling you what to do. It'll be a template, a blueprint of what you can do, kind of a suggestion. So, I quit substances. That was a big change for me because I knew I wanted to concentrate and focus on my purpose. And in order to do that, I needed to remove all distractions. If that means removing dating, sexcapades, if that means removing some friends or going to the bar, if that means removing alcohol and weed entirely, if that means removing limited thinking, whatever that may be for you, you need to figure out what is holding you back and get it the fuck out of your life. Remember that momentum and discipline comes first, not motivation. Motivation is not gonna last. Motivation's not gonna be around for you. Chasing motivation and waiting for motivation is an endless nothing. Discipline and momentum will cultivate motivation. So, sorry to say, but waking up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym doesn't happen through motivation. It happens through discipline and movement. And then months after you have been doing that for a while, you will then feel excited and happy to do it moving forward. But it takes months to cultivate that discipline to motivation. So you need to keep with it. You can't just give up because you don't feel like it. And this is with everything. This is just one example. I'm just using the gym as an example, but this is with everything. Number 3, this is where we get to figuring out what your purpose actually is. Use your brain. Number 3, use your brain. You might have to do this every day. And do not think this is a pussy activity if you are a man. You need to sit down, you need to journal, you need to brainstorm, and you need to meditate. You need to figure out what you like. And I would suggest figuring out a few things. And then you need to figure out a way to... You need to figure out how these things can translate into something monetarily. What jobs are available in these areas? And like I said, it should be a few things. And, for me, this took a year. This was a year process for me to figure out. I knew I wanted to do content creation. I just didn't know what I wanted to focus on. It took me a year to become the person that could create this channel. I'm telling you, it was not an easy process. I had to go through a lot of challenges and trials and tribulations to get to the point that I realized I wanted to make this channel. So it's going to be the same with you. All this stuff takes time. You need to have the grit and the mindset to realize that this is not going to be an overnight process. So think on it. Use your brain. And then after that, do the research. Research how you can monetize what you like. I always say go back to your childhood. Your childhood holds a lot of answers, including things that you truly were interested in. And if you can't find that answer in childhood, look somewhere else. Look in your teenage years. For me, I've always been interested in art and artistic endeavors. It doesn't matter really what it was. Music, painting, and I became a graphic designer. That was kind of how I figured out how to do graphic design. I was always interested in video editing when I was a kid. I figured out a way to monetize video editing. And now I'm here. Something that I started when years ago, I started blabbing on Facebook about how to cultivate a better life for yourself, controversial opinions, and I was like, if I'm doing this shit on Facebook, why don't I just make a YouTube channel? If I have so much shit piling up into my head that I want to put out into the world, why don't I just make a YouTube channel and figure out how to monetize that? And that's what I'm doing now. If you look at your life, there are patterns of things that you naturally gravitate towards and you can monetize. So you got to think really hard. And like I said, this could take a year to figure out. So be patient with yourself and don't give up just because in the first month you couldn't figure it out. This shit takes months and even years sometimes. So just relax and realize that this is going to be a long road type of a journey. This is not going to be an overnight type of a journey. Number 4, the last piece of the puzzle. Shut up and do it. Okay? Most of the reason why people get stuck a lot of the times is because they don't feel like putting in the work. It takes a lot of work. I'm sorry. I gotta make these videos, which take a long time to make and edit and put together and write scripts and use my energy, and I get like 12 views on a fucking video. I still get out here and I still do it. Why? Because this is a long-term journey. This is not an overnight success. I mean, maybe I can make a video and it'll blow up, but most likely that's not going to happen. It's going to gradually build, and it's going to take longer than just a year for this to grow. So the internet is at your fingertips. So if you can't figure something out, the internet is available to you. There are people in the position you want to be in the future. There are people that are already there and that can teach you on the internet for free. It's not hard to figure out. And actually, I go to ChatGPT a lot for advice. And if I'm feeling down, I go to ChatGPT for advice. I'm not saying use it as your therapist, but sometimes it can be your hype man. I'm telling you. Just go to ChatGPT if you're feeling down. Explain to it why you're feeling down, and it will be your hype man. A lot of this is a mindset trick. And at the end of the day, if you got extra money laying around, hire a mentor. Find a mentor. Sometimes they will be your mentor for free. Find somebody to be your hype man, because, again, a lot of it is just a trick of the mind. Forcing yourself to work every single day, even if you don't want to. You gotta change your attitude. You gotta get excited. You gotta enjoy the process. The destination is the journey. So everything you're doing, every obstacle you're facing, everything that comes before the wealth break or the freedom break, this is all part of it. Every discouraging, disappointing thing that happens, it's all part of it. So just get excited, change your attitude, throw a smile on your face. Realize that this is it. Not tomorrow, not 5 years from now, right now. You going through these obstacles and these problems are going to make the rewards so much sweeter. Realize you're going to need to work really hard. You're going to have to work on weekends, 7 days a week. You're going to have to work nights, early mornings, holidays. Not all the time, but it's probably going to happen. You're probably going to have to work really fucking hard all the time. You're going to have to put work into this a little bit every day. Whatever you decide to do, you're probably going to have to work on it a little bit every day. Little habits every day are going to create your future. Not giant, not getting like a shitload of work done every day. Little tiny pieces that will create and pile up and create the puzzle. Puzzle pieces are tiny, but when the puzzle is finished, it creates this beautiful, scenic piece of art. And that's essentially what you're building every day. You're building a puzzle. So, little habits every day create your future. And it works the opposite way too. Little habits every day, like drinking beer every day, or smoking your brains out every day, or chasing girls every day, and partying, those habits will also build up over time and create your future. Possibly an undesirable future. And that's how people get to 40 years old and they're like, how the fuck did I get here? So go full force, give it your all, let go of the victim mindset. And at the end of the day, don't give up on the first sign of adversity or your first disappointment. Especially if you're going into something like content creation, it's going to be a bunch of ups and downs. Even people with millions of subscribers are still facing ups and downs. The algorithms are changing every day. People are purchasing these platforms. Different people are purchasing the platforms and changing them all the time. Different trending topics are happening every day. Your content's not always gonna hit. That's the hell of content creation. And that's what I've chosen. So you just gotta have a really strong mindset with really anything. You gotta have that strong, steady, stoic mindset. And realize that failure is a lesson. Obstacles are just challenges to be overcome. Adversity are just challenges to be overcome. Problems are challenges to overcome. It's like a video game. You have to figure out the levels and rise to each new level. But you have to use your brain. You have to use your mind power and defeat each boss every single time. It's not as straightforward as a video game, but it's definitely similar. You just gotta have fun with it. So you can do this. I believe in you. The hardest part is believing in yourself. That's actually the hardest part of all this. Because when you see failures and disappointments, you immediately internalize that. You think it's a problem with you. You think it's a problem with your ideas. It's really not. A lot of this is luck. Sure, there's a percentage that is a strategy and research, but another percentage is luck. So you might be doing everything right, but luck isn't quite on your side quite yet. You just gotta wait and keep going. So here's how you can kind of gauge if you have to pivot. Do this at your own discretion. I always say, go full force with something for 5 solid years. If it really doesn't work, pivot, do something else, and go full force on that for another 5 solid years. And just keep going with that cycle. You're gonna be exhausted. You might feel hopeless at times. That's what the mindset and the mentor and the internet is for. ChatGPT, maybe even. It's constant pivoting, adapting, and reinventing yourself over and over and over again. And you just have to have that strong mindset. If you do this, I can almost guarantee you will be somewhat in a better position in 5 to 10 years. You can't go wrong when you are dedicated, working hard, passionate, excited, good attitude, every day, days on end, for 5 to 10 years. You can't go wrong. You're gonna find something. People will come to you to collaborate. Opportunities will knock at your door. You will get new ideas and figure things out through research, trial and error. You can't go wrong when you have, when you're moving towards something with good intentions, strategy, and a good mindset. You just can't. So think about it like that. There's a hawk. I don't know if you can hear it. That's kind of cool. Be like the hawk. Zoom in on your target and go full force at it and fucking kill it. But yeah, if you like this type of content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I am obviously a new content creator. I'm on this journey with you. I'm looking to go hard at this for the next 5 to 10 years, whatever it takes. You know, if I have to pivot in 3 years, we'll see. You never know what's going to happen when you are moving and working hard. You just never know what's going to happen. Life will reward you in some way. It might not be how you expect, but it will be in some type of a way. Don't worry about the outcome. Just work hard and love what you do. Also check out my socials, Treu Sovereignty on TikTok and Instagram. Talk a lot on there as well about different stuff. So until next time, I will see you in the next video.